This is a Chucky Beat production.
Clap, clap. Alright. So we are officially recording. Let's see. We are going to head to Crabtree. Or we're just going to take the highway, see where we go. See where it takes us. We'll get off when we get off. What can I say? What I had to do. So today I had to get gas for the bike, and I'm testing out my new this SD card that I had found. So, you know, GoPro is very specific about what you get in terms of SD cards and so forth. But that's neither here or there. Alright, so let's really start the video. Hi, welcome to Kosamoto's channel. You know, pleasure to be with you guys, pleasure to see you, pleasure you guys to see me, I guess, really. On the channel, we're just, you know, kind of restarting everything. I had a couple videos before, and I realized that they were okay videos, you know, for someone who's doing first time riding, and it was time to reset. Just a couple things that happened in my life that required me to reset, so I decided to take down some of those videos, if not all of them, and just kind of start from fresh. So I am a New York-based motovlogger. I currently live in Elmont. I'm not going to tell you where exactly in Elmont, just in case you stalkers see me and want to hit me with your car or whatever. But I'm out here, and the whole idea of this channel is really to A, talk about travel, right? So traveling. B, working on talking about mechanics of a motorcycle. So, you know, the average person who's not a mechanic, who doesn't have any technical expertise, and is just going to work on his or her motorcycle. My particular bike of choice is the Kawasaki Ninja 650. It is a 2017 model. It's pretty much new. I keep her in really good condition. She stays under a tarp. She's parked up. But we've done some mods to the bike, so that's a separate video. We'll talk about modifications and stuff like that. So A, we're talking about travel. B, we're talking about modifications. And C, we're talking about the average commuter and his travels. And we're going to throw some food trucks and food venues in because I love to eat. I'm fat, in my opinion, but I'm working on it. You know, that's not to shame anybody else who may be bigger than me or smaller than me. If you have issues with your weight, you know, something we're all struggling with and working on. We live in New York, you know, stressful life, stressful time. So what I will be doing is just taking account of some blogging stuff. Like, we'll talk about really regular conversations. Popo. But so we're about to hit this highway. I'll talk to you about my riding experience thus far. So I've been riding for about 6 years, I would say. About 6 years. I did an MSF course when I was, 7 years ago. I got my bike a year later. I did it in Brooklyn. It was a really good course. I recommend anybody to take it. If you're not a person who rides normally and who, well, someone who hasn't even ridden in general and someone who has ridden, I think you should still take the course. It's very informative. It has good information. I don't know why you wouldn't want to take the course. You know, you get to learn all the basics and the things that you wouldn't learn if you were just picking up from a friend. Because sometimes you get bad habits, and it teaches you how to get out of those bad habits. And I will tell you from now, bad habits breeds mistakes. You know, I'm not a perfect rider. I'm still learning. It's 7 years. I think everybody will tell you there is no perfect rider. There's always a propensity for an accident, whether it's your error, car error, human error. You can't get around it. So it really is your responsibility to do your best to learn the various things that can happen on the road and try to prepare yourself as best as possible for those encounters. You know, you can't do much else other than that. I think let's just start with the basics, right? So, riding in New York is crazy. Most people. Oh, I guess he was just talking to his boy. Most people who ride in New York, and I'm gonna be honest, people. My New Yorkers, let's be honest. If you have a motorcycle, unless you are riding like a cruiser, a Harley, a small twin engine, a small bike, a smaller caliber engine. Traffic on the highway. All right. You're riding pretty slow if you're on a Harley and those types of bikes. You really are. You're not speeding. You're not going over a certain speed limit. You're staying within the lanes. It is what it is. But for those who are on sport bikes, super sport bikes, sport touring bikes, in New York we're kind of reckless. We're reckless out here. I'm subject to some of those actions. Sometimes I'm reckless. I could definitely say that. Sometimes I'm not as responsible as I should be on the highway, or not as responsible as I should be on the road. But those are the things that you do, and you learn from them. Hopefully, it's not it's not a crazy learning curve, but you try your best. So, here's a good example. Like, I'm about to get on the highway right now, and there's a couple different types of riders, right? So we're going to talk about the first rider. The first rider is the cautionary rider. He gets on the highway, he stays behind the car, he stays in the lane, he doesn't split traffic, and that's just his life. Now, I don't know where everybody's going. It's 9:15 in the morning on a Monday. I'm assuming everybody's heading to traffic, or maybe there was an accident or something like that. But, usually you stay in the lane if that's what you do as a cautionary rider, right? Probably somebody who's new to riding, doesn't have a very powerful bike, is chilling. And then you have the secondary rider, the one who is cautious but still splits lanes, right? Still splits lanes, still goes through traffic, but he goes at a decent, moderate speed. Those are usually the ones who they're comfortable with riding, they're a little bit more responsible, they're safer. You stay in the traffic if you have to. If you don't have to, you just split the lanes. So right now, I have no clue what's happening on the highway. I'm going to go through the lanes a little bit. I don't know if there's a cop around me, and there you go. See another biker up there? So I don't know what's happening on the highway right now. It could be a number of things. So you're just kind of like cruising through. You're not going any major speed. You rev your engine, you let people know you're coming, and you kind of just cruise in, right? There's another biker over there. You see him. You kind of want to be in the lane with him too. So you cruise in. Hopefully he sees you. Yep, there you go. Just pass by him real slow, and then you cruise through the lanes. There's something happening, something big, something major is happening on the highway. So I may have to get off at some point and get back on later on. But that's the secondary rider, right? Then you have the third rider, and I think I could probably narrow these riders down by boroughs, but I think I'm gonna have to save that for another video. Maybe when I go and do like a video recording or a vlogging of me going to like a motorcycle shop in another borough, I think that's probably what's gonna happen. That third rider is the insane rider. Those are the drifters. The insane rider. Insane rider is the type of rider who there's back-to-back traffic like I'm in right now. And you see how I'm doing like 24, revving my engine, going through the crowd, kind of just letting people know I'm here. That fool is the one that makes it bad for every motorcyclist. And I'll tell you why. Here's why. And there's a cop. Right? Here's why. So, he's Federal Protective Services. I don't even know what that is. Not a regular cop. But here's why. When you're on the highway and you're speeding through traffic, right? You're putting yourself and the car in danger. And I'll tell you what the biggest issue is. Most drivers don't see you, don't hear you, don't know that you're, even in the road. They're not looking for you unless it's a fellow motorcyclist like myself, right? I'll probably be looking for you to make sure you're okay, thinking about where you at, that's me. But the average person isn't doing that. Federal Protective Service. Oh, Homeland Security. I don't know what Homeland Security is doing out here. Federal Protective Service. Anyway, so, those are the ones who do crazy shit on the highway. And they're usually the ones who get into arguments with cars, big bad accidents. And not to say you can't get into an accident if you're the other two riders, But it happens. You know, it really does happen. And those who are the crazy riders are the ones who makes it bad for you. I really only stopped in the lane. I'm more of the second rider. I'm the cautious, but I split lanes. But I don't know what's happening on the road right now. So I'm not acting crazy. I'm not going through lanes. And plus, I don't know what the jurisdiction of a Homeland Security Protective Services cop with a K9 unit does, you know? So you just be careful. But anyway, so the third rider is the one who's like in the lanes and he's splitting and he's going so fast and and it just takes that split second. And when I say split second, it's really just a split second. A car comes in and it doesn't see you and it just like drifts over into your lane and slowly hits the brakes. You're not paying attention, he's not seeing you, and you slam right into the side of the car. Or he hits you off your bike, and then you fall under a car and yada yada yada. All the bad things that happen, everyone talks to you about. Anytime you have a conversation with somebody about a motorcycle, oh hey, by the way, oh yeah, I had a friend, you ride a motorcycle? That's crazy. I had a cousin, a brother, an uncle, a nephew, a this, a that, a whoever. You know, they got into a crazy accident. I don't know why anybody rides motorcycles. It's so unsafe. Yeah, you know, that's part of the riding process. It happens. But you try not to be that statistic. You really do. And cars don't make it easy, but you got to make it easier on yourself as well. You know? You really do. It's a little hot out here. Put my visor up. You really do. So those are usually the three types of riders. Now, in New York, I am a rider number 2, the cautious but split lanes. And the reason why is because I've been in an accident. I've been the statistic. And not because I was at fault, but because some a-hole who was driving his car, and it was like, I don't know, 7, 8 o'clock at night, you know, I'm on my brand new bike, I don't know any better, I'm a newbie, you know, this is my third bike. I'll tell you a story about the second and the first bike, but my first and my second bike was pretty much the same bike. You can kind of read between the lines. I had a Kawasaki Ninja 250, and that one was a 2014 model, 2015 model, I don't know. I'll post it, and you'll see the picture of it. We'll have a whole discussion about bikes and the progression of bikes that I've had so far. 250, small bike, light, you know, you're just learning how to ride, you're going through traffic, and literally I was coming from the cross aisle into the Grand Central, you know, coming around that curve, and it goes from 2 lanes to 1 lane. So most people are very impatient and want to speed around you. I'm learning how to take a curve still. You know, you're a newbie. And what's the biggest, everybody knows who's a motorcyclist knows what the biggest fear is. It's not a straightaway, it's not going uphill, it's not going downhill, it's the curve. Because the bike doesn't really do what you think it's supposed to do when you're on that curve. You know, all of a sudden you start drifting, you start low, you get slower and lower, you try to figure out what's happening, you throttle out, you know, all kinds of stuff goes through your head. You get scared, you get tunnel vision, you whiskey throttle by accident, and boom, you're in an accident. So you're very cautious, and me as a newbie rider, super cautious in the 250. So what happened was, I'm going around the curve, this guy was impatient, he flashes his lights, and then, you know, I'm still going around the curve. I'm not going to stop riding because he's in the way. And he clipped me. He clipped my back wheel when it turned into like a 1-lane road. And that was it, people. That bike was totaled, you know? And again, human error. You thought he stopped? Hell no. We're in New York. He kept it pushing. All I saw was brake lights, and then I saw him take off. You know, luckily I had somebody with me who was traveling not too far behind. They saw me on the ground. They saw my bike totaled. Went to the ER and the whole process. I'll give you that whole story in a later date. But that was a synopsis. See? Cautious rider. I don't know what kind of rider he is. I'm not taking chances. I don't know what's out there. I'll just try and travel like a little bit, you know. I see who's out there. Cars are right here. You know, follow him a little bit. But yeah, those are different types of riders. Now, what else is there to know about New York riders? Like, I am a fan of riding in general. Do I wish my roads in New York were better? Hell yes. Because I see some of these people with vlogging channels and they have these really nice roads. Oh, there you go. Really nice roads. So they're cruising, they're traveling less than 45, 50 miles an hour on these smooth paved roads, not worried about a goddamn thing. Whereas here, you have to look out for everything in New York. Not that you don't in other places, but specifically in New York, you have to look out for, good example, people carrying materials in their trunk. people on their phones, because those are usually the drifters. The ones that are on their phones, those are the drifters. All right, I guess I'm gonna have to get off the highway because this is crazy traffic. Probably going to Sunrise. That's me riding, really. Yeah, so potholes. Potholes are a major thing on motorcycles. I've heard some people on the FDR, all these New York-based roads that have horrible roads, and you don't really get these nice paved roads. So you have to be careful that you're going to run into. Traffic is moving a little bit. All right, I'll stay on the highway. Got traffic over there. Everybody's getting off the same thing. You're traveling, and the biggest thing is the potholes. So you're in the potholes, and all of a sudden your bike just hits it. Boom. You could lose control of the bike. A car could try to swerve out of a pothole and hit you. There's so many variables. So you have to be very careful when you're riding in New York. Now, I've been looking at channels for cycles, and I've been just, trying to figure out what would my channel be focused on. See, those are the cops. I don't know what happened, but they headed somewhere specific. My channel is going to focus on what is it like to ride in New York, right? What is it like to ride in New York? It's going to focus on what is it like to travel and commute on your motorcycle, because that's really what my bike is going to be doing. I'm going to do a lot of commuting on my motorcycle. Aside from commuting, maybe a road trip. 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I did a Philly trip. I have some of that video. It's not great video. I'll probably just take pieces of it and put it into something else. But, the road trips, it's fun. I did a 2-hour trip to Philly with one of my boys. He doesn't even live here anymore. He lives in Cali. He was riding an R6, and he was just surprised at my bike, how powerful it was in comparison to his R6. And, I'll go into details about like the differences between an R6 and a 650. That's a Yamaha R6 and my Kawasaki 650. Same bike, the same bike that I have. It wasn't a different one. And it is a different bike. It is a different feeling. You have different types. You have the bikes that you're completely leaned over. That's your super sports. And then you got my sport touring, which is this. So it's more of an upright feel. I'm not completely bent over. It's different. It's lighter. It's better on your back. I will say that. Your back feels a lot better when you're on it. You're not feeling the drag and the pain of being hunched over this whole time. And it's just a better feel. But I'm not going to make this a lengthy video. I just wanted to give you guys kind of like a synopsis of, it's an accident. Is that what everybody's looking at? Everybody stop to look at a fucking accident? We have accidents in New York all the time. It's human response. Anytime we see an accident, we slow down. I guess, whatever. But I know what I'm gonna do. I'll probably go to Eisenhower Park. It's not even a bad accident. I don't even see it. Maybe you hit her on the side or something. But that's pretty much the gist of the videos. I really want to focus on just the main things, those main things. So traveling. So you're gonna see me in other countries. Curacao, Costa Rica, mainly Costa Rica because my girlfriend's from Costa Rica. You're gonna see me out there on a motorcycle, doing a tour or just like video vlogging about what it's like to ride out there with a different bike, and even the rental process of getting a bike. So let's say you're a biker in New York and you're going on vacation with your boys, with your girl, whoever, and you decide I want to go riding. I want to rent a bike out there, and I want to try my experience, my level of experience with riding on a highway. Come on, Gramps. Out in another country, and it's fun. It really is. When I was in Curacao, I'll show you that video. You get to ride bikes that you don't normally ride in your own hometown. Like I have my Kawasaki. I'm never gonna really go buy another bike immediately and buy another bike or rent a bike just to ride it. Hopefully, we'll see if I can do that kind of stuff so you guys get the idea of what it feels like to ride on the bike. But I got a chance to hop on a Hayabusa. That's a dream come true. I've never thought I would get on a Hayabusa. They're huge ass bikes. It was an experience to be on such a powerful machine. My bike is a 650. Hayabusa is like 1,000 plus. The CCs on those bikes it's different. How it takes off, how it moves, how it handles, how it turns. It's very different. So that's one thing. Also, taking my bike to food trucks and food venues and critiquing their food and give you an idea of where you can go. So sometimes I know I have a hard time on my motorcycle deciding where to go, right? So where am I going on my motorcycle? I don't know. Sometimes I just get on the bike and wherever it takes me, it takes me. Today's one of those days. I'm on the highway, wherever it takes me, right? Baldwin, I see you, or Baldwin Road, I guess, somewhere. But I'll tell you why later on why Baldwin Road is significant. But you hop on the bike and you just go. Wherever the bike takes you. You got a full tank of gas. You got your GoPro. You got your little headset. You put your music on, and you go for the day. I don't know time where I'm going. It'd be nice to know I'm going to this destination. So the idea is that I'm going to kind of set up things where it's like, oh, this is a good food spot. Go check it out. Go check out that food spot. It's a good place to eat. It's a good place to chill with your boys. Maybe you have a bunch of guys you're riding with. You meet up with them, and you guys all chop it up for the day, eating there, and then you head home. So those are that's like the second one. And then I think the mechanics. I think many of us own motorcycles, and we have a hard time deciding how we're going to fix our bikes. Sometimes you don't want to take it to the shop, which can run you about $400, $500, $600. But something you could do for like $100. Something you could do for $50. I know I'm all over the place in this video, but this is really what the video is about, what my channel is about. And if you like it, if you want to be a part of it, if you want to share that journey with me, by all means, come on the channel, come see me. I'll try to post videos weekly or every 2 weeks. I try to keep them coming. And I like that you just subscribe, hit me up on a comment if you feel like there's something I was incorrect about or you don't agree with, or maybe you felt like there's more topics I could get, more conversations I could have in terms of specific topic you want to hear, or maybe you own a bike like this, maybe you own a Kawasaki 650 or a Versi. Maybe you have the Versi, the naked one. They're pretty much the same fucking bike. They really are. I've looked into it. The research is that they're just the same bike without fairings. The way the handlebars are set is different. Your dash panel is different. So it's a naked bike. But maybe you have a similar bike and you want some advice about what you could do and what are things that you want to work on your bike, right? By all means, just hit me up. And that's where we're at. So. Welcome to the channel. It's Kosamoto, K-O-S-M-A-T-O. So K-O-S-M-O-T-O. Out here can't talk. I was distracted real quick. Sorry, Kosamoto, K-O-S-A-M-O-T-O. And hit the like button, hit the thumbs up whenever you get the chance. I'd like for you to thumbs up this channel, this first one. Just so you get an idea of where I stand, and we go from there. We get some more followers. I'm just doing this for fun. I'm not doing it for money. I'm not doing it for capital gains. If it comes along, then it comes along. But I have a full-time job. I'm a teacher. I'm a Board of Ed teacher. And that's just my focus. My focus is teaching, really. But I love to ride motorcycles, and I think everyone should have a hobby, and this happens to be mine. And I love working on my bike, and I know people out there love working on their bike, and it becomes their weekend hobby. It's a break from your norm. So come to my channel if you need a break from your norm. That's how I look at it. But anyway, thanks for being with me. I always work on catchphrases. I'll let you guys decide which one you think is better. I used to say, think safe, ride safe, be safe. I'll see you guys later. I don't know what the new catchphrase will be for this channel. I don't know what I'm gonna say. Love, eat, enjoy, ride. I don't know. We'll figure it out as we go. But when we lock it down, you guys will be a part of that process as well.
This is a Chucky Beat production.